Buddha and the egoistic search for enlightenment. Well, that might be a very strange subject because for Buddhists, everything what Buddha did was perfect and was good, especially good for mankind. But let's take an example. Let's say you are a married man, you have a child that was just born, and something in your life is missing, something spiritual. So that you become obsessed with this idea that you have to search for the solution of this problem, and your family becomes unimportant. Your search is the main goal. And now you have two possibilities. Or you stay within your marriage, go on working and care for your child. And during all this time, you try to find a solution to this problem. You have free time, you have weekends, you have your occasions. So you can do some retreats, do a daily meditation and find out the solution for these problems. That is one possibility. There's another possibility. You don't talk to your wife. You go on living as if nothing happened. You carry all these problems inside. You never talk to your wife. And suddenly the search for this problem becomes so important to you that one night you just get up from your bed, have a last look at your child, have a look at your wife, both are sleeping peacefully. You go out of the bedroom to dress, and without making any noise, you leave your home. Imagine next morning the wife wakes up, have a look at one side, the bed is empty. To think, okay, you went to work, and she is waiting. You don't come back in the afternoon, you don't come back at night. So the wife gets a little worried. Where are you? She does not know, so she calls some friends, she calls even the boss of your work, but they say no, he did not show up to work anymore, and nobody knows where you are. And this goes on for not only days, it goes on for weeks, and it goes on for 6 years. Imagine what this woman is feeling, the suffering. And in the meantime, the son is growing up, is now 4 years, 5 years old, and the son asks, where is my father? But the mother, if she is honest, she would say, your father left. And the son might ask, where did he go? And the mother said, I don't know. Or if the mother is not honest, she might say, your father is away, he's working somewhere else. But then the son might ask, and why does he never call you or ever write you? So it depends on how strong the woman is. She might start crying, or just turning away, and or invent another lie. So, what is this man doing in the meantime? He is searching for the solution for his inner, I would not say spiritual problem, but he is pursuing a goal for himself. He might, just to calm down a bad conscience, he would say, oh, I will come back, and then I will teach my son, I will teach my wife. That's calming down maybe a bad consciousness. If he is a really spiritual person, he would say, my spiritual goal is superior to the mundane obligations to my wife or to my son. So that is a modern example. But let's go back to Buddha. You know, that's the story of Buddha. That's what Buddha did. One night he just left. The story about Buddha obviously is a legend. We don't know really what happened. But let's take the legend for reality, because most people, most Buddhists see it as this, not as a legend, but as a real story. So let's go back to the moment, to this night. Buddha just sneaks out of the bedroom. There is his wife laying with the Buddha scriptures say, newly born child, Rahula. And Buddha, in the night, in the dark of the night, steals out of the palace and just disappears. For how long? For over 6 years. He went to India. Well, he was born what now is Lumbini, and Kapilavastu, which now lays in Nepal. So he went down to India and forgot about his child, forgot about his wife. He was pursuing his own inner goal. Obviously, Buddhist says he did it for humanity. I would dare, I would not think about it. It was his goal. It was his problem at this moment. He didn't think about humanity at this moment. Because when he became enlightened, he was even doubting if he should teach or not. So he got what he wanted, the solution to the 3 problems: growing old, becoming sick, and to die. And why we cling to life, because of desire. So he found out the solution to this problem. But at this moment, he was not so sure if he would teach or not. But later on, we have again this legend that the gods came and asked him to teach, because there are some people who would understand this, what he thinks very difficult teaching. It's not so difficult. It's just a desire which binds us to life. So they convinced Buddha to teach. What else could he have done? Going on sitting under the Bodhi tree? Or just wandering around like a Pacheka Buddha, a lonely Buddha, just enjoying his enlightenment and thinking that people are just too stupid to understand. So he had to do something. He was only 36 or 35 years old, so he had still a long life. He supposedly died at 83, so he had at about 45 years still to live. So he should do something in this time. So he taught. After his enlightenment, well, he remembered his family. Supposedly, his father sent him somebody and said he should come back. But my question is, how could the messenger find Buddha? There were no internet around. There was no post office around, so it might have been difficult to find him. But anyway, Buddha went back to Kapilavastu and visited his father and wife and son. Obviously, Buddha says he went back and brought something back, the teaching. And finally, he convinced most of his family to become Buddhists. And at the end, the Sakya state disappeared. So if you train away all the able young people, so everybody wants to become a monk or a nun, well, the state disappeared, was conquered. So when he came back, his wife, we don't even know her name at the beginning, just later generations said, well, the mother of Rahula. So she did not even have a name, just a function. The mother of Rahula. But later on they gave her a name, Yashodhara. So she was not so unimportant. When Buddha arrived, he stayed in a park. Obviously his father got angry about it. How could his son, the royal son, prince, stay like a beggar in a park? But next day he was invited and they had some lunch with his father and they reconciled. But his wife, Yashodhara, was still angry. She didn't show up. Imagine 6 years of her best time. She must have been around 30, and suddenly from one day to the other she's alone because her husband just left. He did not even talk to her. Obviously that hurts a little bit some Buddhists, and they without any basis in the scriptures, they say Buddha talked to his wife and the wife agreed that he could leave. There is no proof for it. So Yashodhara didn't show up, but after 3 days finally Buddha saw her. Obviously he was afraid of being alone with her, so one of the monks had to go with him. That's really a coward attitude. After say 6 or 7 or 8 years, when he came back, not being alone from a point of view of the wife, not being able to be alone with your husband, because there is a monk sitting behind, listening and watching, so that Buddha, maybe he was still afraid of his sexuality, he would not fall in temptation or come too close to his wife. Buddha was teaching 2 unlimited qualities, the 4 unlimitedness. One is compassion and the other is loving kindness. And the Buddhists are practicing compassion and loving kindness, metta. So they direct loving kindness and 6 directions into the world outside. It's easy. It's always easy in an abstract way. But being loving and kind to a person in front of you, with this person, you have to live day and night. That's more difficult. It's much easier to love the whole world because it's such an abstract thing. Humanity is so abstract that you can irradiate loving kindness in all directions. But just give loving kindness to one person in front of you. In this case, to the wife. There was no loving kindness from Buddha to his wife when he left. Compassion. He didn't have any compassion for the suffering of the wife. Well, at this time, there was no love relationship as we understand it now. It was just a wife. And we don't have to forget that Yashodhara was not the only wife Buddha had, as it was the time, the custom of the time. Princes had many women, slaves, sex slaves. So Yashodhara was just a wife, the official wife, but Buddha had even other women to enjoy. So what she felt, the man didn't care so much as we expect today, that we should care for the wife, for the feelings of the wife. She just had to obey. So loving kindness and compassion was not directed to her. It was directed to humanity. That Yashodhara was suffering, that was unimportant. So we can say that sometimes our search for a spiritual goal might be very egoistic, cruel, and we think just about us. My enlightenment, my practice, my spiritual way, I follow it, I follow it. I don't care about other people. I don't care about my parents. I don't care about my friends. I just follow in a very fanatic way my spiritual goal.